Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? We got some breaking news, y'all, on a case that we have not talked about in a little while now. There have been some conversations in the past in regards to footage that's been seen and all that, but I'm going to be honest. They said that the footage wasn't that great. I know that there's been new updates, new conversations on a different angle, I guess, where people can see where this kid was literally the attacker, and his claims of self-defense is absolute BS. At least that is what is being said in the comments and in the news right now. But nonetheless, this is some breaking news that I figured that we all knew was going to happen. This was inevitable. We already knew that Karmelo Anthony was going to get charged. We already knew he was going to get charged with first-degree M because, let's be real, what he's been alleged of doing is serious. Okay, so I'm not surprised that he is looking at a very, very serious charge, one of the hardest, one of the biggest charges, okay, that you can get hit with, especially when it comes to taking someone's life. This is a very big freaking deal. Now, I don't know what that means in the state of Texas. I don't know what this means for him as far as, being 17 years old. And when he did this crime, let me remind you, he was 17 years old at the time of the crime. And of course, by the time this sees the inside of a courtroom, which could be a year from now, which could be a couple months from now, he may be 18 by that time, okay? But nonetheless, this is a very interesting thing. And of course, we're going to talk about the when this trial is actually going to happen. I don't know. I feel like they're going to let this drag out a little bit longer so there isn't as much tension, okay? Because this has been a very politically and racially charged case for sure. And I've always been saying since day one, let's wait for the information, as much information as we can. And I hope that at some point, the public will get video. The public will actually be able to see some footage with our own two eyes. Yes, I know that there is reports of people seeing the video. Okay, reporters actually giving their account word for word, moment by moment, action by action of the footage. But at the same time, I have yet to see it myself, and I really want to see it with my own two eyes. Yes, I get it. I could take that reporter or any of these reporters' words for it, but at the same time, I'm sure that they have their own bias. I'm sure that they have their own point of view, and I want to see it for myself. So if he is straight up attacking Austin Metcalf, where he isn't feeling like he is scared for his life and he's fighting for his life, therefore it's self-defense, I want to see that, right? I want to see that for sure. I want to see the moment that he grabs the knife and he does what he does, right? I just want to see the proof. But I feel that we have to wait, like I said, before we split up and start blaming certain sides and start going on our crazy bandwagons. I say, let's wait till the footage comes out and then we can talk some more. All right. But before we get into all that, let us get into the conversation here. So he has been charged with first-degree M, which, by the way, like I said, not surprised. I'm not surprised. It doesn't matter if he says, this was self-defense. It does not matter. He's still going to get charged until they can prove it in court whether or not he did it. That's it, guys, right? So we got to wait for all of that. But Karmelo Anthony, the teenager who attacked and took the life of Austin Metcalf, okay, and this happened at this unbelievable, tragic track meet, okay, in April, has officially been charged with first-degree M. Like I said, the biggest, heaviest charge a person could ever get, really. And in my mind, I'm like, could he look at the DP? Could he look at the ultimate price? Are we looking at that? I mean, we talking about Texas, baby. Texas don't play, right? So I got questions. But anyway, so the DA of Collin County, Greg Wallace, he announced this just a few minutes ago, or actually like about an hour or two ago, okay, explaining a grand jury indicted Anthony earlier Tuesday. So in other words, they saw some footage and they felt like this charge was sufficient and justifiable enough, which is still very, very shocking. Let's take a look at this.
Good afternoon. Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. the violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. For weeks now, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury, and today I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court. But when the time comes, we will be ready.
I am kind of curious about when this trial is going to actually happen. Is it going to happen in the next few months? Is it going to happen within this year? They may wait until 2026 to put this out here and have a trial get going. You never know, because they might feel like there will be too much tension right now. And by waiting out for this to play out in court in about a year from now, maybe the tensions will die down and it won't be as palpable. I don't know though. It is interesting though, right? We may have to wait a whole year. You never know.
Now we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond. And that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well.
I think it's also not only just keeping them in your thoughts and prayers, but I also think the Anthony family deserves, just a little bit of care and concern, because I know that there's still a lot of craziness going on for both families. Okay, I think both families are victims of this situation, and just hopefully everyone's just stay in their lane and just being respectful and just not messing with both families. That's what I think. Both families deserve the distance and the respect so that they can do whatever they need to do in regards to this trial. Okay, but in regards to this upcoming trial. Okay, but we already know this particular 17-year-old athlete, Karmelo Anthony, is the one who's accused of taking the life of Austin Metcalf over a dispute over a seat. Yes, I'm not kidding. Over a seat on a bench, okay, at a university interscholastic league's District 11-5A championship on April 2nd. So this wasn't very far ago. This wasn't very long ago. So for weeks, Willis said in announcing the indictment, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury. Today, I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did. So a question is, what was the evidence, right? He said, I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return with a first-degree indictment, which they did. So something in the evidence made the grand jury, the people decide, yep, we are most definitely going forward with a first-degree charge. So again, this is not good news for Karmelo Anthony or the Anthony family, okay? With that indictment, he continued, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our part fully and fairly, okay, to pursue justice under the law. The trial schedule will be set by court, and of course, I'm sure there's going to be court documents, etc., coming out over the next couple days, because this is some serious stuff, okay? Now, Willis' office, the DA's office, announced if Anthony is convicted, he faces up to life in prison. So that answers my question about the DP, but that's some serious stuff. That's some serious time to be had locked up for life for doing something so grisly, right? Again, still the burning question is what actually happened on the sidelines of that track meet. I'm still kind of curious. But again, it says here, and above is the video, but Anthony's attorney, Mike Howard, okay, he issued a video response a short time after the indictment came down, and he stressed that his client's actions still were self-defense. He says, we're confident that when all facts are presented and the full story is heard, the jury will reach the right conclusion and justice will be done. Let's hear what he got to say.
Today's indictment of Karmelo Anthony is an expected and routine step in the legal process.
Okay.
An indictment is a procedural step that happens in virtually every felony criminal case. It's a document that lays out for both the prosecution and the defense what the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt in court. An indictment simply means that a grand jury, after hearing only the prosecution side of the story, determined that there was enough evidence to allow the case to move forward to court. That's all an indictment means. Karmelo and his family are confident in the justice system and the people of Collin County to be fair and impartial.
I mean, he's basically saying that this is a nothing burger, that this indictment is just paint by numbers, very typical, very, very obvious. But at the same time, the charge could have been less. The charge could have been something else. Okay. They're going with full first degree M. That's a big deal. But again, let's be real. For him to have that weapon on him in his book bag and then pull that out and plunge it into the chest of another 17-year-old boy, that is a serious, serious act. And yeah, he has to be held. He has to go into court and fight that. But that's the thing. Is this truly self-defense or not? And I think that's going to be the ongoing burning question until their day in court. Let's continue.
Of course, Karmelo looks forward to his day in court.
There it is.
It's only in a trial that a jury will hear the full story, one that includes critical facts and context that the grand jury simply didn't get to hear. It's only in a trial that both sides get to present evidence and cross-examine each other's witnesses. This is why our justice system is based on the principle of a full and fair trial. That's because it's only in a trial that the full story can be heard and that impartial justice can be done.
Now, of course, I could play the whole thing, but I'm not going to be honest. But because he's just basically breaking down the full how due process is and what trial is all about. Okay, but at the end of the day, that's his job. His job is to defend his client, Karmelo Anthony. He believes his client was acting out of self-defense. I know that a portion of the world of the court of public opinion believes the same thing as well. I know that there's a lot of people that want justice for Austin Metcalf as well. Me, I want to see the evidence. I just want to see what's going on. There are a lot of articles, a lot of videos out here saying a lot of different things. I have yet to see it personally. It has yet to be put out here for the rest of the world to see, which is very odd to me. I think that's also very odd that they have not put out the video. No one has seen any of the footage, not even one stitch of leaked cell phone footage or Snapchat, IG story footage. Nothing has been out there. That's very strange to me. Now, that doesn't allude to anything. That's not alleging anything at all, but it is a very strange thing that we, as the court of public opinion, have yet to see any footage revolving around this highly profile case. Now, again, like I said before, Karmelo Anthony is going to have his day in court. And exactly like his lawyer said, he's going to have his opportunity to put his plea out there, make his case, and it will be hopefully a jury of his peers that will listen to him and come to a fair verdict on this kid. But I also have to say, the footage, I believe will say everything. The evidence will say everything. Is that why they pushed for first degree M in this situation? Because the footage itself is undeniable or no? I leave that question up to you guys. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. You know, I know that there's still a lot of team Karmelo Anthony's out there. There's a lot of team Austin Metcalfs as well. I say, let's wait for the footage. Let's wait for the proof. I think that's what we should do. That's the right thing to do. But like I said, first degree M, some serious ish, y'all. That's some serious ish. Life in prison, by the way. Life. But I digress. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. And we'll talk here very, very soon. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.